Your teacher today is Dr. Bbosa Science. Number 1, mountain gorilla lives at high altitude and has its oxygen dissociation curve located at the left of many mammals. This suggests that A. There is low carbon dioxide tension at high altitude. B. Its hemoglobin has high affinity for oxygen than for many mammals. C. The temperature is lower at high altitude. D. It has high concentration of hemoglobin in its muscle. You can pause and answer. The answer is B. Its hemoglobin has high affinity for oxygen than for many mammals. Number 2, which of the following is the role of capillary network around alveoli in a mammal? A. Make alveoli more permeable. B. Increase surface area of alveoli. C. Maintain steep diffusion gradient. D. Make alveoli thinner. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Maintain steep diffusion gradient by supplying the oxygenated blood and carrying away oxygenated blood. Number 3, which of the following is not transported by blood in the circulatory system of amphipods? A. Nutrient. B. Respiratory gases. C. Hormones. D. Nitrogenous wastes. You can pause and answer. The answer is B. Respiratory gases are transported by the tracheal system. Number 4, which of the following features does not contribute to efficiency of red blood cells? A. Bioconcave shape. B. Being filled with hemoglobin. C. Being numerous. D. Absence of a nucleus. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Number 5, which one of the following conditions reduces affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen? A. High oxygen concentration. B. High carbon dioxide concentration. C. Low body temperature. D. High pH of blood. You can pause and answer. The answer is B. High carbon dioxide concentration. Number 6, which one of the following is responsible for increasing the pressure of blood flowing in the vein back to the heart? A. Pumping of the heart. B. Contraction of skeletal muscles. C. Closing of valves. D. Inspiratory movements of muscles. You can pause and answer. The answer is B. Number 7, the biochemical property of blood essential for its protective function of the body is A. Ability to clot. B. Possession of antibodies. C. Presence of hemoglobin. D. Possession of white blood cells. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. Ability to clot. Number 8, loss of water from human body can result into A. Lowering temperature. B. Slowing down rate of breathing. C. Lowering blood pressure. D. Slowing down heartbeat. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Lowering blood pressure. Number 9. Oxygen dissociation curves for aquatic animals are usual to the left of terrestrial animals because A. There is less oxygen in water. B. Air is less dense in water. C. Aquatic animals are less active. D. Aquatic animals use less oxygen. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. There's less oxygen in water, so hemoglobin for aquatic animals has high affinity for oxygen. Number 10. Which of the following is the correct order of events in the heart after contraction of atria? A. Atrioventricular valve open, ventricle contract, semilunar valve close. B. Ventricles contract, atrioventricular valve close, semilunar valve open. C. Ventricles contract, atrioventricular valve open, semilunar valve open. D. Atrioventricular valve open, semilunar valve open, ventricles contract. You can pause and answer. The answer is B. Ventricles contract, atrioventricular valves close, and semilunar valve open, so that blood flows into the pulmonary artery. Number 11. High concentration of carbon dioxide in the tissue leads to A. Increased affinity for oxygen to hemoglobin. B. Increased loading tension of hemoglobin. C. Shifting of dissociation curve to the left. D. Lowering of affinity for oxygen by hemoglobin. You can pause and answer. The answer is D. Number 12. The figure shows oxygen dissociation curves for mud fish, human fetus, adult human, and active flying bird. Which curve is for flying bird? You can pause and answer. The answer is D. Number 13. Which one of the following describes the chloride shift during transportation of carbon dioxide in a mammal? A. Hydrogen carbonate ions leave erythrocyte as chloride ions enter from the tissue. B. Chloride ions leave erythrocytes as hydrogen carbonate ions enter from the tissue. C. Chloride ions enter the lungs as hydrogen carbonate ions enter the erythrocytes. D. Hydrogen carbonate ions enter the lungs as chloride ions leave erythrocytes. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. Number 14. Oxygen from myoglobin is released after hemoglobin supplies are exhausted because myoglobin A acts as a store of oxygen in resting muscle. B. Works better when the pulse pressure of oxygen is high. C. Is produced in the skeletal muscles when oxygen demand is low. D. Has lower affinity for oxygen than hemoglobin. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. Number 15. The correct order of transmission of electrical impulse to initiate heartbeat is A. Sinoarterial node to atria, to atrioventricular node, to Purkinje tissue, to ventricle. B. From synovial node to ventricle, to atrioventricular node, to Purkinje tissue, atria. Then C. From atrioventricular node to atria, to sinoarterial node, to Purkinje tissue, to ventricle. Number D. Atrioventricular node to Purkinje tissue, to sinoarterial node, to atria. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. Number 16. Which of the following, when in a high level in the blood, increase the rate of heartbeat? A. Oxygen. B. Thyroxine. C. Water. D. Adrenaline. You can pause and answer. The answer is D. Adrenaline. Number 17. Which of the following ions move from plasma into red blood cell to maintain electrical neutrality during uptake of carbon dioxide by blood from tissue? A. Chloride ions. B. Carbonate ions. C. Potassium ions. D. Hydrogen carbonate ions. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. Chloride ions. Number 18. High carbon dioxide concentration in respiring tissue is important because it causes A. Local vasodilation, allowing more blood into the tissue. B. Low pH in the tissue, leading to unloading of oxygen. C. Local vasodilation, creating high blood pressure. D. Increased heartbeat. You can pause and answer. The answer is B. Number 19. Mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in amphibian is minimized by A. Rapid contraction of the ventricle. B. Spongy nature of the heart muscle. C. Spiral valve in truncus arteriosus. D. Columnae in the ventricular wall. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. An athletic competition organized on highlands required participants from lowlands to report film maps before the competition to enable them A. Get familiar with the place. B. Develop strong muscles. C. Acquire high red blood cell count. D. Have extensive deposition of fats to their skin. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. At highlands, there is low partial pressure of oxygen, so participants require high red blood cell count. Number 21. The lack of a nucleus in the red blood cell enables it to A. Have high affinity for oxygen. B. Become more permeable to oxygen. C. Give up oxygen more readily. D. Contain more hemoglobin. You can pause and answer. The answer is D. Contain more hemoglobin. Number 22. Which one of the following is true about circulatory system in the amphibian? A. Double with partially divided heart. B. Single with completely divided heart. C. Double with completely divided heart. D. Partially double with completely divided heart. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. It is double with partially divided heart, 2 atria, 1 ventricle. Number 23. Which of the following substances are not transported in mammalian blood? A. Urea and glucose. B. Insulin and ammonia. C. ATP and pepsin. D. Carbon dioxide and sodium chloride. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Number 24. The main problem of single saturation is the A. Slow speed of blood to the tissues. B. Mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. C. Low rate of oxygenation of blood. D. Slow speed of blood to the heart. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. The blood capillaries in the gills reduce blood pressure and speed to the tissues. Number 25. Which of the following does not involve mass flow? A. Blood flow in arteries. B. Uptake of food by tapeworm. C. Movement of food and water in the gut. D. Transport of water and mineral salts in the xylem. You can pause and answer. The answer is B. Uptake of food by the tapeworm is by diffusion. Number 26. Which one of the following is not true about both blood and lymphatic systems in mammal? The fluids contain A. Excretory product. B. Leukocytes. C. Plasma proteins. D. Dissolved food. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Lymphatic tissue does not contain plasma proteins because they cannot go through the pores or blood capillaries. Number 27. Which one of the following structures is responsible for initiating contraction of the heart? A. Purkinje tissue. B. Arterioventricular node. C. Sinoarterial node. D. Heart muscle. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Number 28. Which one of the following animals does not have a double circulatory system? A. Fish. B. Octopus. C. Frog. D. Squid. You can pause and answer. The answer is A. Fish has got a single circulatory system. Number 29. Which blood vessels are able to change their resistance to blood flow, regulating distribution of blood flow to organs? A. Veins. B. Arteries. C. Arterioles. D. Capillaries. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Arterioles. Number 30. Which of the following animal groups have body segments and closed circulatory system? A. Crustacean. B. Platyhelminths. C. Annelida. D. Insects. You can pause and answer. The answer is C. Annelida. Insects have got open circulatory system. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Please subscribe to promote my videos. Subscription is free. Our website is digitalteachers.co.ug. Here find notes, exams and their marking guides in physics, chemistry, biology and math. YouTube channel Digital Teachers Uganda. Here find related videos in physics, chemistry, biology, math, primary science, primary math. The best secondary school in Uganda is the Science Foundation College. The best primary school in Uganda is Local of Ages Primary School for God and my country.